Hi friends, welcome to the channel Unshackling Sudokus and Puzzles. Ashish here, and today I'll be covering a puzzle genre called Ham Sandwiches Puzzle. So this puzzle is also constructed by Aubin Danzo and it's from the same contest called Puzzle GP. As I said earlier in my previous video, we covered a puzzle genre called Spiral Galaxies from the same contest by Aubin Danzo. So all the puzzles from that contest, Puzzle GP, were constructed by Aubin, and it was an excellent round. So we got a videos request for this puzzle from the contest, and I'm really glad that we could fulfill that. So it was really a very difficult puzzle and one of the highest pointers of the contest, right? So let's see if we are able to crack this puzzle. So before going to the puzzle, I would highly recommend you to please subscribe to the channel Unshackling Sudokus and Puzzles if you haven't done so. It will really motivate us to cover videos on regular basis, and if at all you have a request for any Sudoku variant or a puzzle genre, do let us know in the comment below and we'll surely make a video on it. And now coming back to this puzzle, so I'm sorry I didn't mention it here. I'll do that in the link below, that the symbols in this puzzle are 4 hams and 2 breads. The symbol that was already given in the contest as well. So in the PDF here I really forgot to mention here. So it is nothing but 4 hams and 2 breads. So you need to place hams and breads into cells, no more than 1 symbol per cell, such that each given set of symbols, so given set of symbol is 4 hams and 2 breads, will have to appear in each row and column. The numbers outside the grid indicates the number of hams between the 2 breads in that column, in that particular row or column respectively. So for example, if you have a 4 here, between 2 breads you will have 4 hams. If you have a 3 here, between 2 breads you will have 3 hams. If you have 1 between 2 breads, you will have 1 ham. So that is what the numbers indicate. And so yeah, there will be 2 empty cells in each row and column, so those are crossed out. No ham or bread will be appearing in those cells. Okay, and I'm sorry, with that we'll start this puzzle. So this is one of the ham that is, this is one of the ham that is already given in the puzzle. I'll mark that with a blue color. Bread I will mark with the green color. So breads would be marked with the green color, and crosses would be marked with a black cell or a dark gray cell, right? And with that we should start solving this puzzle. This was one of the highest pointers. So let's see if we are able to crack this puzzle or not. So going logically, the first thing that I found in this puzzle was, we know that there are exactly 4 hams to be placed in each row and column, and the moment I saw the 4s here, I knew that the first symbol can never be ham, because there are exactly 4 hams in each row and column, and all those 4 would have to be inside the bread, right, inside the between the 2 breads. So which means whenever you have a 4 in that row or a column, the first symbol seen from that direction will always have to be bread. So which means none of these cells would be ham, and of course each row and column will have 4 hams. So all the other cells would have to be ham here. That works in the this end of the puzzle as well. So this end of the grid. So if you see the first column of the grid, this is the logic, and this logic works with the last column of the grid as well. The first symbol from the other direction will always have to be bread, because first and last symbol will have to be bread, and there has to be 4 hams between these breads. So if you have a 4 clue outside the bread, outside the grid, then it will always have to be ham in the first and the last column, right? Why always have to be ham? Because I'm sorry, I misinterpreted it. I mean to say exactly every row and column will have 4 hams, and the first symbol from either of the direction when you have a 4 cannot be ham, right? And there are exactly 4 more cells remaining in that row or a column, which means those will always have to be ham, right? So which means these cells and these cells will have to be ham, because not these, I'm sorry, these, because in that row and column you exactly need 4 hams, and there are exactly 4 cells which are remaining which will have to be ham, right? And yeah, so with that we'll continue the puzzle. As you can see, there are 2 cells, we have 2 cells degree of freedom for each row and column, which means you can have you can have a bread in column where you have 4s in one of these 3 cells, right? Even here bread can be in any of these 3 cells, right? Example. That's nice, because if you have a bread here, you will have a bread here, and all these 4s will be ham. 4 cells will have to be ham, right? So the possibilities of bread in these rows for this 4 will be these 3, and the possibility for this 4 at the end of the grid, the other side of the bread, will have to be these 3 cells, right? So which means this cell cannot be a bread, this cell cannot be a bread, so the first cell can never be a bread, even the third cell can never be a bread. So which means for this 4, the only possibility for the first bread would have to be this cell, and the second bread need to have at least 4 hams in between, 1 2 3 4. This cell cannot be a bread, so this is a bread here. Easy. Which means all the 4 hams will have to be inside these cells, so this cell is a black cell here, and the moment you get a black cell here, one of the degree of freedom is already lost, so this cannot be a B, neither this cell can be a B, right? Easy to see that way. And okay, so let's see where can we have breads for this column where you have a 3. This cell cannot be a bread, this cell cannot be a bread, this cell cannot be a bread, because between 2 breads you need to have at least 1 ham, so this is not a bread, this is not a bread, this is not a bread, and neither can this cell be a bread. So which means bread can only be in these 2 cells, and all these 3 cells would have to be ham, right? Nice. So we got the 3 worked out here easily. We need to still look out for the 4th column, I mean to say the column with the clue 4. And what else can we do here? Okay, there is a really excellent logic here that I could see was, so if you see the first and the last column, the clues that are outside the grid is 2 and 1. So which means for the 2, wherever you have a bread, you will have 1 cell left and the other cell would have to be a bread. So let me explain you why. So for example, if you have a bread here, you need 2 hams in between with the 2 breads, so this would have to be the second bread. So whatever be the case, either these 2 cells would have to be the bread or these 2 cells would have to be the bread, right? There are only 2 possibilities for the this column, and for the 1 you will either have these two or these two. Exactly have 1 ham in between, so the alternating cells would always have to be bread, either these 2 cells or these 2 cells or these 2 cells, right? And now if you see here, one excellent logic that I found out here was, exactly each row or column will have 2 black cells, right? If you see here, column 1, I mean to say each column and row will have 2 black cells. For this row 1 and row 3, I got one contradiction was, at one point of time I was getting 5 black cells, and of course that is not possible. So how does that work? So we know that for the 2 clue, one of the possibility is this or the other possibility is this, and in both the cases one of these 2 cells will always have to be black and other will always have to be bread. So which means these 2 rows, for these 2 rows you already have 1 black cell, other black cell would be somewhere here, either this or this. 2 black cells are already done. For this column, at least 1 black cell would have to be in one of these 2 cells. Both of these cannot be ham. You have only 1 ham left in this column, and it can be either this or this. If it is this, you have 2 black cells, and if it is this, you will have 1 black cell in one of these 2 cells. So which means you have 1 black cell here, 1 black cell here, 1 black cell already here. 3 black cells are already concrete solid logic we have already got for 3 black cells in these 2 rows, and the 4th black cell is somewhere hidden in these cells that we have not got it already, right? But the moment I put a B here, I'll get a B here, and both of these becomes black cell. So I already get a 5 black cell in these 2 rows, which means this cell cannot be a B. Control Y, Z, yeah. So which means this cell cannot be a B, right? Either these two cells or these two cells will have to be B, and in both the cases this is the common B that we have got here, right? Okay, I'll just mark that with the center again. Yeah, this is the common B that we have got here. I'll mark B's with the green color here, easy, and hams with the blue color here. There will be exactly 4 blue cells and 2 green cells in each row and column, right? So now we know that either this cell can be a B or this cell can be a B. We are not sure of it yet, right? And okay, so which means this cell is a black cell now, right? Of course this cannot be a B, this cannot be a H, so this is a black cell. We have lost one more degree of freedom from this side, and from not from this side, of course from this side 1 degree of freedom is still lost here. So now comes the tricky part. One more tricky part here was seeing the column clue with a 0 in it, right? Of course, so when you have a 0 in that column, both the breadths will have to be adjacent to each other. Even you can have a white cell in between, but the next symbol with a B will always have to be a B. So both the B's will have to be near to each other without a ham in between, right? So let us mark all the possible places for B in these two in this column, right? This cell cannot be a B, neither can this cell be a B, right? Of course this cell cannot be a B, and this cell also cannot be a bread, because in between two breads you need to have one ham. So there are exactly 4 cells where you can have a B, exactly, right? One possible logic here was, can you have a B here? Here. So let me mark that here. These are the 4 places where you can have a B, right? Either these 2 cells and these 2 cells. One of them will be in these 2 cells, other will have to be in these 2 cells, or both of them can be together, right? Okay. Okay, no. There's something that I'm missing here. Let us see. Okay. Come on. No, this won't work, I think. Let us see if there is any other logic. This logic won't work, I'm sorry. You can still have a B here, or you can still have a B here. That will give you a B here, and it still works. Okay. Okay, for this B, one of the B's would have to be here or here, and this cell or this cell would have to be a ham, right? Okay. Okay, one logic that I could see here was that that's a difficult logic here. What happens if I get a B here? Right, the moment I mark a B here, one other degree of freedom is lost here. So you have 2 black cells. This cell would have to be a B, and that gives you this cell as a B, right? Easy to see that way. So this cell is a B, then these 2 cells are B. This is also crossed out, so both of these cells are B. So the moment I get a B here, this cell also would have to be a B, and you need exactly 1 ham in between these 2 breads for the one clue. Of course not possible. All of these cells would have to be crossed out, and you cannot have 4 hams in that row. So which means this cell is not a B here, this cell is a B here. That crosses out this cell, you get a black here. This cell is also crossed out here. This cell is not a B now. Okay. These cells are not B now. This cell cannot be a B. Okay, of course these cells are not B. Okay, we got this logic, but Okay. Hmm. Let's see what the other logic is now. One of these two will have to be always black. This is a black. One of these two will always have to be a black. One of these two cells would be black. Yeah, one more black, so all the other cells would have to be bread and ham. Come on, this also isn't working here. Let us see. No, this also won't work here. This cannot be B. Of course, both of them can be B actually here, or both of them can be cross as well. No, both of them cannot be cross, so one cell would always have to be a B here. Neither can both of these cells be ham, neither can both of these cells be cross, because the moment you have both of these cells are cross, both of these cells would have to be bread, right? It has to be B, which means either both will be B or one will be B, right? Okay, which means where can you have B's in this cell, in this column? You cannot have here, you cannot have here, you cannot have here. If this is a B, no, if this cell is a B, this cell would have to be a B. So this cell is also not a B, which means, of course, if this cell is a B, none of these cells can be B, none of these cells can be B, so these cells would have to be B. This would be B. So if you have a B here, this cell would have to be a B, and both of these becomes crossed now. Both of these becomes what to say, black cells, which means both of these would have to be B. That we have already deduced, not possible, right? So this cell is not a B, you will get a B here, this cell is a B here, okay. Now this cell cannot be a B, okay, that you have already deduced, which means this cell also can be crossed out. B can be either this cell, not this, or both of these cells. If you have a B here, this would be H. Okay, if you have a B here, still possible. Come on, I am missing something here. Okay, one of these cells would have to be H, right? Ham. This cell cannot be ham, so this cell would have to be a ham. That's nice. I forgot this. I missed this. So when you have a B here, The other B is somewhere in these two cells, which means in these two cells you will have to have a ham. This cell is not possible because of the 4 closed, so this cell is a ham. You already have 4 ham here, so this cell is a B now. Okay. So either this cell is not a B, so this is crossed out. So which means you will get all the other hams here. Amazing. Can this be B? Yeah, it can be. Okay. Okay. Either this cell can be a B or this cell can be a B. So if this cell is a B, both of these would have to be B, and okay, still possible. You cannot have a B here, you cannot have a no H here. Okay. Come on, anything else we are missing here? Okay, something else I am missing here. A really very excellent puzzle, I would say, not an easy one. Can both of these be cross? So one of these two cells are B. If this is a B, this would have to be H, and both of these are crossed out. Come on guys, I am missing something, or I am not sure if I am missing something that is simple to see, but this is really an excellent puzzle. I actually didn't solve this puzzle during the contest. I thought of a live solve. So let's see. Come on, this is a B. You will get H here, and now both of these would have to be B. If this is B, no, if one of these two cells would have to be B, right? So this cell cannot be an H. No, come on, this is something really difficult to see. Something very tricky here that I couldn't see. get the one here. One of them would have to be B, then other would have to be cross. Come on, come on, come on. So let's see if you have a B here. Okay, if you don't have a B here, both of these would be B. This would be a cross. You will have a B here. Sorry, B here. None of these cells can be B. All of these are H. I don't see anything. This is B and this is B. Guys, do you see anything wrong here? I couldn't see anything that gives me a contradiction here. This would have to be B. Oh. Okay, I could see here. Okay. Oh, I get it here. I mean, just a second. Both of these are B. Okay, one of the B's would have to be here, other B will have to be here, third B will have to be here. Okay, so if both of these are B, that's a really difficult logic. Both of these would have to be B, right? So you get both the B's here then. For the two column, there is a really very difficult contradiction here that I am getting. Okay. Or in other words, if I see that contradiction here. Okay, so if I don't have this as B, this would be B here. These two would be B and these two would be B. You get the third B here. So for this column, the B gets contradiction. So this has to be a B here. I am not sure if that is really concrete logic that I am getting here, but a really difficult one. If this is a B, this is H. If this is a B, if both of these are B, both of these are B. Come on. I'm still stuck here. Okay, so this cell cannot be anything, right? It has to be a cross here. I could have done that earlier, right? No. After getting this B, this is a cross here, right? So which means these cells are B here, these cells are H here, this is a B here, this is crossed out, both of these are crossed out. So which means this is a B here, all of these are H here. Okay. No. A really difficult puzzle, guys. A really difficult one. So one of the H will either have to be here or here, right? If this cell is a B, this cell would have to be B. If this cell is a B, all of these would have to be H. Still possible? Okay, this is a B. Second B cannot be here. It can be here. It can be here. This is B. This is H. And this cell cannot be a B. Okay, for this row, where can a B bread be here? It cannot be here. It cannot be here. It cannot be here because of the two columns. So this would have to be a B here. This gets crossed out here. Okay. You get an H here. Okay, you get a H here. All the H's are done. These are crossed out. Okay, the next B would have to be here, and this is H. These are crossed out. So all of these would have to be H here. Okay. Both of these would have to be crossed out. All of these would have to be H here. And both, no, not both. Both of these would have to be H here. This is, both of these are crossed out. Guys, this was really tough puzzle. I'm not sure if I have missed anything, but this was really a tough puzzle, guys. Really, I am sure I would have missed something, but for now this is what we could solve, and a really tough one. Of course in the contest I could have tried to guess, but this was really difficult to solve it. If you see here, exactly all the clues are fulfilled here. Yeah, and the number of hams are given outside the grid. They are exactly matching the solution that we have come up with. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Do like and comment if you want us to solve any other Sudoku variant or a puzzle genre, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you.